looking up tonight, mulling under the moonlight. Never thought to let it go. Soul searching out of your window. Days, never sleep unless your head's by mine. Holding on to what we call divine. Do you think we're running out of time? Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Daylight rushes in over your emerald eyes. Guess that means that we're all out of time. Like a dream, you only come out at night. Am I crazy? Watch the sun as it's fading. Can't believe I'm waiting around on you. So complicated. I thought that you would leave it, yet here we are under the moon. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side.
Hello guys, welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk at 2 PM on a Friday. In today's stream, what I would like us to discuss is basically what do City need to do next season in order to win the title. You'll notice that Shirky is in the thumbnail, there's a reason for that. The thumbnail title tag, if you want to say it, is Attack Wins Titles, and the title of the stream is the key to Man City's title hopes. Attack wins you games, and defense wins you titles. That is the old adage, and that's a saying that Fergie made infamous after his first Premier League title win, when United scored more goals than Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn Rovers scored the most in the Premier League that year. They finished third. United had the best defence in the league. They finished first. However, it's not an adage I agree with. History tells us in the Premier League that if you want to win the Premier League, in general, you need to be the one that scores the most goals, rather than necessarily having the best defence outright. If we are categorising attacking as scoring goals and defending as not conceding them, that's a very generic, broad, sweeping statement. But in its purest form, attacking is scoring goals, defending is not conceding them. The Premier League is often decided, the title winners of the Premier League is often decided by who scores the most goals. Now, City did not score enough goals this season to win the Premier League. Obviously, we're well off it. We're also incredibly off it from a conceding goals perspective, but thankfully the new signings were able to help out a little bit, and the way we played towards the end of the season as well also helped. Andrea, if you spam, you're going to get timed out by a moderator. The purpose of today's stream is to go through the squad and assess how many goals we think each player is going to score. And from there, we will be able to establish whether City have done enough in the market to win the title next season in a very simplistic analysis, I suppose. This is why we're talking about Shirky, because he is someone who can contribute scoring goals. Reinders is another example of a goal scorer and a shooter. Even Aitnori is an example of a goal scorer and a shooter for a defender. And I think we all saw the ridiculous goal that Shirky scored yesterday for France. He's going to be able to contribute with that as well. So what I want us to do today is have a look at how many goals we think our players are going to score this season. We're going to tally it up, and we're going to see if that is enough goals. I want user and chat input on this one in particular. I'm not going to say that I will absolutely agree with what you guys say, but if I'm well off from what the chat says, then I sort of do want the chat to take the lead. So I want a lot of input. I want you all to be telling me how many goals you think this player will score, that player will score, and we'll go through the whole squad and we'll see exactly how many goals we actually need to score. Hopefully this can be an interesting stream. But big up to everyone. How are we doing? Yeah, good morning, Spartacus. Make sure you're leaving a like on the video, by the way, as you are coming in. You can indeed. Yes, it's a pixelated intro, yes. Hello, Acrutix. Love to see you, matey. Hello, Jammy. Hello, Dave. Not today, hopefully. Hello, Loco. Yeah, ridiculous performance yesterday, absolutely. Big up to you, Sebastian and Ayushi, my beautiful members. First time on the live, welcome, Faith. City We're Back, says Yug. Yes, indeed. Rayon Shirky, indeed. It is Shirky. Rayon and Rayon at the Etihad, absolutely. But there we go. Hello, my short king. Thank you so much, Sarthak. So that's basically what I want us to have a look at today. Now. Without looking, would you like to hazard a guess on average how many goals the Premier League winners scored since 17-18? Would you like to hazard a guess as to what the average is? So from 17-18 up until the most recent season, how many goals do you think on average needed to be scored to win the Premier League? Let me know what your guesses are. Don't worry, I've done the numbers. I've done the adding up and the dividing. It's pretty easy to figure out the mean average. I just want to, as an intrigue thing. So you know, for some context, Liverpool this season won the Premier League, and they scored 86 goals. So they were able to win the Premier League by scoring 86 goals. But how many do you think since 2017-18, on average, need to be scored in order to win the Premier League? I've started from the Centurion season because that's when like Pep redefined the attacking football or whatever. It's the standard deviation. Get out of here. 90 plus is Mr. G, 97, 86, 85. Some good guesses here. 90 to 100, 90, 107. Gosh, I think that would be a record. Not an average. Goodness me. Hello, Tino. 90 to 95, 95, 120. Right, these numbers are a bit crazy, guys. We're breaking records here. 87, 85.5. So I can confirm. It's a nice exact number. You'll be happy to hear. There were 744 goals collectively over those 8 seasons. That means that on average, you need to score 93 goals to win the Premier League. There was only one season where the team that scored in that time period, there was only one season where the winner did not end up winning the Premier League. Sorry, there was only one season where the team with the highest number of goals scored did not end up winning the Premier League, and that was City in the 1920 season when we scored 102, something like that. And like Liverpool had insanely clinical players like, you know, Salah popping off that season, Mane, etc. They massively overperformed on expected goals and goals against. So that was the only year where the side who didn't score the most goals won. So what we have here is a target. I've whipped out the notepad. The target for City is 93 goals based on averages. Now, once again, that does not necessarily mean that if you get this number, you will definitely win the Premier League. However, history tells us over the past 8 seasons that if you can get to this target on average, then you will win the Premier League. So what I want, as I say, what I want us to do today is see if we can get can we hit that target with the players we currently have? How do we think our players are going to perform? If we can't do that, if we can't hit that target, do we think it's going to be enough? Do we think we maybe need to bring in another player like Morgan Gibbs-White, for example? So I'm going to try to do it in order of our most prolific players because that makes sense. Now, and that's also obviously, and then once again, this is assuming no ridiculous injuries, because if a player gets injured and misses a whole season, then there's nothing that we can really do about that, and then the whole dynamic changes. So we are sort of assuming no ridiculous injuries for the purposes of this stream. Now, how many goals do we think Erling Haaland is going to score? And this is only in the Premier League. How many goals is Erling Haaland going to score in the Premier League next season? He scored 36 in his debut season. He scored 27 in his second season. He's only got 22 this season. He's not had the best year for his high standards. There have been a number of occasions where he's not done well enough in front of goal. Missing a number of penalties, for example, this season. That's not been good enough. But also, there has been, in some games, there has been an issue where we have not really created enough for him. Now, with a Cherki coming in and raising the technical floor of our midfield, so now what? So now we can go from having the likes of Kova, Bernardo, Gundo to Cherki, Foden, Reinders, etc. So I think Haaland's goals are going to go up. I don't think they're going to be 36, but I can see high 20s or maybe even getting into that 30. What do you guys reckon, though? Because this season, as I say, he got 22 in the Premier League. So let me know how many you think he's going to get next season. As I say, based on him hopefully doing better and hopefully us doing better for him as well. Lots of 30s here. 38, says Jerome, so he's going to break the record again, dearie me. 28, 40, 29. Remember, this is just the Premier League, guys. 31, 30, 29, about 30. There's lots of high 20s and low 30s. Assists are going to be harder because you can score a lot of goals without getting assists. So that's a bit trickier. 29, between 35 to 40. Treble season recap. Just 24 for PM. 30. I think I'm going to go with... I think 30 is reasonable. Do I think that he's going to score more goals in his second season? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. No, not all comps. No. This is just the Premier League. Remember, guys, we are focusing on just the Premier League. I think that 30 is a reasonable number. And if we feel, and we can always revisit the goals and see, we've been a bit too generous there. Now, who is going to score the second most goals for City? I'm pretty sure that's going to be Omar Marmoush. Now, he only came into City relatively recently, and yet, he already has 7 goals. He got 7 goals in 16 games. So he was scoring a goal in nearly every other game based on those averages. Across his career, he's not been a prolific scorer, but he's a late bloomer. He's a late bloomer, isn't he? He scored 12 goals in the Bundesliga in 23-24, and last season he scored 21 goals in the league. He scored 15 in the Bundesliga for Frankfurt, 24-25, and he scored 7 for us. We are looking at a double-digit goal scorer here, clearly, surely. As I say, he scored, and this is also without a proper left-back support as well. So he's going to have Ait Nouri in support also. I think around 12 to 15 is a reasonable amount for Marmoush. I think that seems about fair. Maybe. Oh, you guys, am I being underselling him? You guys are thinking even more. I'm thinking around 15-ish, towards the upper end. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah, 22. I don't know if we're going to get 2 players over 20 though, guys. That seems very optimistic to have 2 players both over 20 plus goals. I'm not sure about that. 17, 15. I think a teen is probably more realistic. 30 plus. What's going on here? 26, 2016. 20 goals says Marmoush. 12 to 15 is too low, says Mr. Jean. 15 says Rocket. 15 to 20. 20-ish, 10 assists. 20 goals for Marmoush. 22, easy. 15 says BG. 15 is much higher. Says what? I don't even know what your name is. 20. 20. 15 is safe. I think I'm gonna. Phone scored 17. Yeah, but that in a Player of the Year season though. 18 is conservative enough. 15 plus 14 to 18 range says Mannix. I think for now we can go back. 45 goals between both Haaland and Marmoush, I think is pretty safe. I think that collectively they score 45 goals together. That might be 28 for Haaland, because again, give us like some leeway, 1 to 3 goals either way here. This is only the Premier. I'll tell you what, I'll just target 93 Premier League goals. How about that? Just to make it really obvious. 45 goals between the two, I think, is pretty reasonable. Again, that might be 28 for Haaland. It might be 17 for Marmoush. I think that's fine. Yeah, this is Prem only. I think you've gone too high. Well, if I've gone too high on him, then maybe we've gone too low on Marmoush. Either way, I think that's reasonable. I think Haaland can get 30 goals. I don't see why not, especially if we're plopping in a player like Shirky. Why can't he? With support of Foden and Reinders and Ait Nouri, etc., etc. So that's a thing. So I'm going to go for that. Who is going to score the third most amount of goals for City this season, ladies and gentlemen? I know the answer, but who is going to score the third most amount of goals for City this season? We've got the two really obvious ones out of the way. There is one more player who I'm pretty convinced is going to get double digits next season. And from there, we're looking at single digits thereafter. Yep, it's Foden. Yeah. People are saying Shirky, that's very optimistic. The most amount of goals he's ever scored in a season is 5. Shirky is not going to get double digits next season. Foden, on the other hand, has scored 9, 11, 19, and in this season, in his worst season since he's broken to the side, in a subpar season, he's still got 7. He's going to score double-digit goals. Now, that might only be 10, but history tells us that, again, even in his worst season, which is this year, he's still got 7. He's obviously going to get more than 7. Let's be real. It's going to be double digits. Now, how many exactly? Less than Marmoush. I'm not willing to put it as high as Marmoush's 15, but at least 10. At least 10. I think he's more like the sort of 10 to 13-ish range. Something like that. Because once again, since he broke into the side properly in 2020-21, 9, 11, and by the way, that treble-winning game missed half of it due to injury, was injured for half of it. 19, big outlier there, obviously, and now 7. So on average and on balance, he's, what is that, 9, 18, 25, 36, 46, 49, 55, 55 divided by, what is that? 55 divided by 5, 11. So he's averaging 11 goals since he broke into the side. I think with a better environment as well, with Shirky, with Reinders, with Doc, etc., etc. Rodri back in the side as well. I don't see why Foden wouldn't get double-digit goals. I'm going to say that's a tentative 10. I don't mind underselling some of these players right now. We can always go back. We can always go back if we feel like we're a couple away or a couple away from the target. The target is 93 goals, Blue Moon, because over the past 8 years, the average winner of the Premier League, the winner of the Premier League has scored, on average, 93 goals. Now, once again, ideally, we'd get even more than that, but that's sort of like a nice baseline target. Once again, I'm not saying that if we score 93 goals next season, we win the Premier League, but what I am saying is that should be a nice little minimum sort of thing to reach for. I want to score more, of course. I want to get high 90s. Preferably, let's try to get over 100. But it's like a nice little minimum baseline to reach. Do you see what I mean? So what did you guys say for Foden? 10, 13, 12, 15, 12, 12, 15, 12, 12, 12 to 14, 13, 13, 12, 12, 10 to 15, 12, 15 to 20, 12, 13, 10, 13, 12, 12. Lots of 12s here. 11, 12, 12. Right, okay. That's nearly universal. We'll go for 12 there. Fine. Again, we can think about this as net. If you think that I've oversold Haaland and undersold Foden or undersold Marmoush, don't worry, we can add them all together and it's not a problem. Now this is where it gets a little bit trickier because now we've sort of moved away from the most obvious goal threats. Who is going to score the 4th most goals for City? I actually don't know who did it this season. I feel like it might have been Kovacic. Let me have a look. Because I actually don't know the answer to this. I honestly do not know in the Premier League. I know like McAtee scored like a hat-trick in the FA Cup. I'm strictly focusing on the Premier League here. Who scored the 4th most goals for City this season? It was Kovacic. Okay. Yeah. That's a problem. Because that's Kovacic's highest scoring season. He might even be here next season. We'll find out. Yeah, I think that Reinders is probably most likely to score the next most amount of goals. I do agree with you guys there, excuse me. Because he's a box crasher. He's also a box lurker, whatever term you want to use there. He scored 10 goals. He's also a bit of a late bloomer. He scored 3 goals in his first season with Milan. 10 goals this season with Milan. Now, I don't think it's going to get that high. I think we are now only looking at single digits now. I'd be very surprised if any other player that we look at here scores more than 9 goals. I think that would be incredibly optimistic. Now, again, Reinders is, as I say, he is a box crasher. But he's as I say, he's not going to be a player who you go, yeah, he's going to score 10 Premier League goals. Realistically, he's done double-digit goals once in his career, throughout his whole career. Even if we go back to his time with AZ, whatever you say that, we're not looking at many games. To be fair, we're also not looking at that many goals. So the sample size isn't great to try to predict what Reinders is going to do. He's only, in respect to like games where he's played over 30 games, he's only had in the senior level. He's only had 4. 6 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 10 goals. I think maximum, I think if we're being optimistic, we're sort of looking at maybe 6 as the absolute highest. But let me know, guys, what is your prediction for how many goals Reinders are going to score? I do think he'll get the 4th most. But how many goals is Reinders going to score for us, do we reckon? 6? 7? 4? 3rd, 2, 1, 12. How many goals is this guy going to score? Let me know. As I say, I'm not going to put a double-digit one here because that is not reasonable. That would not be reasonable, in my opinion. If he does that, then fair fucking play. But I don't think that's optimistic. Sorry, I lied earlier. Shirky's maximum in the season was 8. I thought it was 5. That's my bad. 7, 5... 7, 7, 7, 8, 1. Hopefully not. 9 Reinders for Santa Brilliant. 6 to 7. Accidentally opened my email account. Goodness me. 6, says Kyle. Shirky. That's not amount of goals for Reinders. 9, 8, 6, 7, 7. Be realistic. 6 is a stretch, says Socks. He's going to get better. That's a good point, Sean, to be fair. Like, he will be allowed to play with... He'll have more of the ball, in fairness. So maybe we could argue the other points, maybe. It'll be 8. He scored 10 as shit Milan, says Vish. 8, 8, 5, 8, 9, 4 to 7. 8 at least with a team who work well. Again, lots of 8s here. I think 6. You guys think 8. So how about we meet in the middle and go 7? How about that? I want to put 6. Most of you guys seem to put around 8. Let's meet in the middle and go for 7. Now, Shirky. Shaki's up next. Let's just check in. How many goals are we looking at right now? 45, 47, 57, 64. We're doing pretty good here, guys. Now, again, we are starting with the most, but we've already got 2/3 of the way there, which is pretty decent. Let's now move on to Shaki, shall we? Once again, we're not worrying about assists because that's a whole different conversation, far harder to quantify because you could score a lot of goals without even getting a direct assist. Shaki has scored in his Lyon career since he first broke into the side in 2020, 1-0-4-1-8. I don't think Shirky's going to be that much of a massive goal scorer at City. I think he's going to be the player who, again, will be looking to try to create for others. I think he's going to be more of a player to facilitate the players above him. I don't know whether Shirky's going to improve upon his current highest of 8. I think that maximum is probably... I think we might be looking at a similar amount for Rangers. Around 7 might be a good return, considering that his primary burden is going to be creating for others. So what do you guys reckon? Shirky might score 8, says Kyle. 5. Shirky to score 6, says Tony. 5. Isn't 7 a bit of a stretch? Well, the chat put 8, I put 6, so we've met in the middle there. 5. As I say, his maximum, the most amount of league goals he scored was the most recent season, and that was 8. Before then, he's not much of a goal scorer. Again, 1-4-0-1. To be fair, that 0 was in a season where he was injury hit, but like he's never got double digits in his career, so we're not looking at a banker 10 goal situation. Will he have a lot of play time to score 8 goals? Who? Sorry. 7 goals. Don't worry, we're not looking at assists right now. Ian, if you joined us at the start, you would have understood the explanation and why the saying is wrong. 7 says Shorto. 7 says Denton. 11. 7, 4, 5. 8. 7. I'm going to go 7. I think that's reasonable. I think that's fine. Yeah, because again, we're looking at him to continue what he did this season. But of course, for Lyon, he was like the main guy. He's obviously going to have a big part to play this season, but it's not the same environment at City. So it's slightly different, isn't it? So I don't know whether that's going to be the case, but we'll see. But what is good to know is that whether it's 7 goals, whether it's 5 goals, whatever, we are looking at improving the avenues for scoring goals. Does that make sense? Because if we go to last season, we're already... Sorry, after the first 3 players, so after Haaland, Marmoush, Foden, no one scored more than 6. No one scored more than 6. So, and then you're looking at Gvardiol, 5. And everyone there, less than 5. So the fact that we've got people on 7, maybe getting closer to 10, is really good. Yes, Spartacus, don't worry. This is a like minimum target that we want to catch, rather than saying if we get this, we'll definitely win the league. It's based on averages. Who is up next then, is the question. Because based on this season, we had Kovacic up next with 6. He's not going to get that many goals again. That was a fluke season for him. De Bruyne was on 4. He's gone. Gvardiol was on 5, but if he's playing as more of a centre-back, expect his goal tally to go right down. Yeah. Bernardo is on 4. Was on 4, sorry. Doku 3. Yeah. There is an absentee there, though, of course. And that is Rodri. I think Rodri's going to get the next most goals. Because I think Rodri could get 5 goals quite easily, with a few of his... Now, I don't think there'll be as much burden on him to score as many goals, but let's have a look at his track record. How many has he scored? 3, 2, 7, 2, 8, and obviously 0, just them. First year, even in his first year, he still got 3. Very impressive, to be fair. He's very impressive. Yeah, so his most prolific season was 8. That was last year, in 23-24. That's not going to happen again. He had to score a lot of goals from... He and Foden had to score a hell of a lot of goals because Haaland was underperforming and no one else was really scoring the goals. So Rodri had to be that guy to just become a massive threat from outside the box. So he's not going to get 8. I don't think he's going to replicate his 7. I think we could be looking at 5, though. I think that is a reasonable amount for a Rodri. I think 6 will be probably pushing it. But 5, assuming that he comes back and is the player that we know he can be, yes, that there will be less of a burden on him to do it, but we'll still need him to come up with some screamers from outside the box. So I think we're looking at around 5-ish. I don't see him getting more than Shirky or Reinders, the amount that we've got so far. I think around 5's fine. I think 5's pretty reasonable for a player of Rodri's qualities. Now, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any players. How do I do that? There we go. Right. Doku's best is 6, as I mean. We'll get and I think that when we get to the wingers, and I think maybe we will do that now. This is where we need to have a conversation because I'm not sure whether we're going to get to our minimum target if we put in the numbers that I think that we probably will be putting in for like Doku and Savio and Bob. So that might be an area that we need to sort of look at and go, right, I'm looking at you to contribute a few more goals than I first thought. Fortune for MCFC. You will always have good luck in your personal affairs. Thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. Incredibly generous. Hypothetically, if we sign Livramento and a keeper, how do you think we'll line up on paper? So I did a stream actually earlier in the week where I said how we're going to line up. So if you want my detailed thoughts on that, I'd recommend watching that stream after MCFC. But if we get like a Livramento, I'd be expecting like in brief, like maybe like a 2-3-5 situation, like a double fullbacks going to the wing situation. Before we move on, because now, are we happy with where we are at? I think the numbers we've put in are pretty okay. This, as I say, is now where it gets a little bit tricky because we're sort of delving into the realm of, is this player even going to be at the club? Because if we have a look at last season again, we are looking at Kovacic, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Is it even worth assigning Bernardo Silva and Kovacic and Gundogan numbers? Or do we sort of, for now, assume that they're going to be gone, / they're barely going to contribute, so they're not even worth being featured? This is where it gets tricky because we obviously don't know. So let me know how you guys want to approach it. I think it makes the most sense to assume that they're not going to score any goals because they might not even be here, and then we'll look at the end and see where we are at. Who's going to get the next most amount of goals then? So we're now looking at players who are going to get around 5, 4 to 5. Who else is going to get around 4 to 5 goals? Again, based on last season, that was Gavardio, but he's not going to be playing at left back next season, probably at centre back. So expect his goal tally to reduce. Doku got 3 last season. Is he a player who could easily add another 2 goals to his game and get 5? Savio only got 1. Is he going to be able to add a few more goals and actually turn those? Because he took a lot of shots last season. Is he going to be able to turn a few more of those shots into goals? Won't forget Aït-Nouri, don't you worry. Don't you worry. I can see Aït-Nouri maybe getting like 3 to 4 perhaps. In his first season, you've got to remember, it's his first season with City, going from Wolves. It's a very different environment for him. Maybe not in his favour. Gee, that's a rogue shout. Bob, you think? See, Bob is a tricky one, isn't he? Bob's going to be a tricky one to predict. Do I want to zoom in more, by the way? No, I think you guys can see it. That's fine. A good centre-back should still hit that number, says Denton. I don't think it's typical of City centre-backs. I won't lie to you. Nico G. Nico G on 4. See, it's okay. So we're looking at. See, I'm not convinced that Nico G is going to score that many goals because he's not. I don't think he's not going to play nearly as much as he did for Porto. I don't think he's going to be a main midfielder for City. I think that in the main it's going to be Rodri and Reinders. I think we should probably be looking to Doku now. Now, Doku got... Again, we can always change these. It's also about net as well. This is just to give us an idea as well. These are tentative. Doku got 3 goals last season. He got 6 in his... Sorry, no, he didn't. He got 3 goals in his first season. I think... Did he get a hat-trick? No, that's a hat-trick of assists, wasn't it? He got 3 goals in his first season. He's got 3 goals this season. Technically, he got 4 league goals last season. The season before that, he got 6. I would like to think that Doku's going to get more goals than he did last season and the season before for City. I think he's going to get more than 3. I reckon we should be looking at, as a target for Doku, minimum of 4. Minimum of 4 is what I want to see. It's also what I think we'll see as well, to be fair. 5 might be pushing it. Doku might not be away with Spartacus. What? That's the first I've heard of that. I think 4 or 5 maximum. 3 minimum. 5 maximum for Doku. 3.5, mate. 8, says EA. Right, well, that would be his best scoring season ever. Because his best ever season was for Ren when he scored 6. When we won the treble, haha. That was the season that made us buy him, basically. So, the most he's ever scored is 6. So, 8 seems a bit optimistic. 20 for Marmish and Doku combined is realistic. If he can't get 10 goals as a winger the entire season, what's the point of having him at the club? Because he's not necessarily a high goal scoring winger. He's a high carrying and high threat and high creation winger. There are different flavours of wingers, guys. It's fine. With Spartacus, we're not getting... Stop with the Rodrigo chatter, yeah? Less of that. This is what I think. Now, I don't... Now, by this, I don't think that Doku's going to pop off and score 20 goals. But I do think that we are about to see Doku's best season for City. This will be his 3rd year now. As I say, he was 3 in his... For all the shit that people give him for the lack of end product or whatever, he got 3 in his first season and 3 in his second season. I think 4 or 5 is pretty reasonable for someone like Doku. I think that's pretty fair. I hate you, Spartacus. This is just a Premier League. Yeah, hashtag, yeah, they get that trending on Twitter. Hashtag no to Rodrigo. More like Rodri no. Hashtag Rodri no. Get that trending. Where's my fucking hashtag key? That's not the hashtag key. That's not the hashtag key either. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Rodri no. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm taking everything I can right now. I'm putting in 4 right now, and we might come back to it later. We can come back to it later. It's not a problem. Now. What are we doing? After Doku, who are we now looking towards? Who are we now looking towards? Bob? Perhaps? Perhaps, maybe? Bob's a big question mark for me. I think he's a wonderful player, obviously. And I think the season just gone was supposed to be his breakout year when he was going to make his mark on the Premier League, etc. Sadly, he got injured. Now, I'd like to think that he will come back to the player who I think he will be. But I don't want to oversell how many goals he's going to score because he's only scored 1 goal in the Premier League. It's very hard to gauge where we're at with Bob. I think that we could put... For whatever we put for Doku, I think we should be putting for Bob as well. So if you think Doku will score 5, I reckon Bob can also get that much. If I'm putting Doku as 4, I reckon Bob can also get 4. What do you guys reckon? Is that fair? Is that reasonable? Am I underselling him? Well, that too, Photon as well. But yeah, to be fair. Give him time, says Denton. Pavlo, I would rather underestimate than overestimate and be disappointed. Let's start by underselling and start by underestimating. Let's see where our target is, and then we'll look back. It's better to undersell and overdeliver than oversell and underdeliver. Yeah? Savio says PM Bob is way down the pecking order. But he was going to be our starting right winger, PM, so that's not correct. That's not correct. Nori, Bob to get 2. Bob might not play as much. I think he's going to be our... If we play with the right winger, I think he'll be our starting right winger because he was supposed to start the season over Savio, wasn't he? So I think he will get a decent amount of time. Give each fullback 5 goals, says Yash. Okay, Herbal, what's going on here? So shall we now move on to who was it you guys were saying? Nori, do you think? Yeah, we're now getting into sort of this can be chopped and changed. How many is Nori going to get? 1, 1, 2, 4. He's going to at least score. He's going to score at least twice, then, isn't he, for City? Again, we're going to have far more of the ball. He's going to be allowed to attack a lot more. I think 3 is a safe bet for Nori. 3. That's safe. It is his first season. It is his first season. So that's like, you know, what? That's about right. 3 or 4? 2 to 4? 2 to 4, something like that. 2 to 4 for a left back. An attacking left back. To be fair. An attacking one. 3 or 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 3, 4 to 5, 3, 2, 8, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, it's 3. Let's go 3. Okay. 3 is a magic number, guys. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Okay, who's going to get more goals? Savio or Nico Gonzalez? Or a centre-back like Gavardiol? Or Ederson when he comes up for a corner? In the dying embers of the game. McAtee got 3 in the league last season. He ain't going to be here, obviously. Stone's got 2. Nico O'Reilly, he might get 1, maybe. Grealish got 1. Cute. I think that the next most likely to score the goals then is probably going to be Nico G or a Savio. Because now we're getting into sort of 2 to 3 categories, aren't we? 2 to 3-ish. So I'd like to think that Gavardiol will score a fair few goals, but remember, he's not going to be playing at fullback for the most part, so he's not going to be up the pitch as much. So he's not going to be able to score that many goals from outside the box. Maybe from corners, but I don't know if it's going to be as many as... I would expect Gavardiol's goal numbers and shot volume to decline drastically if he's playing at centre-back. So So, for example, first season he got 4, this season he got 5. I'd be very surprised if he got that many. I'd only be comfortable putting Gavardiol 3 maximum. He's still good on corners. Maybe 3. Maybe. But I can't give him any more than that. I can't. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Big up to Denton. Welcome to the Ultras Club, mate. Welcome to the Ultras Club. You've become an Abinio Ultra. Thank you so much. On the road to 50 members, guys. If you want to support the channel, get some exclusive content, get some wonderful perks, get my adoration and affection, click that join button. It's only £3 a month. It does really help support your boy. Allows me to keep making streams and content for you guys. Your random player, by the way, throwback, Wigan legend, Victor Moses. Shout out. Shout out. Is that how many we're on right now, Herbal? Yeah, let's do a quick tally. That seems a bit high. Have I overestimated here somewhere? One second. We're already at 90. Okay, I've made a mistake here then, surely. Yes, so this can't be right. We're already at 90. We haven't even gotten into, like, maybe... We haven't even talked about own goals yet. But let's be honest, guys. We're getting an own goal. Own goal 1. I'm locking that in right now. Yeah, I might need to revisit this. Because that seems a bit too high. I tell you what I will do. I'm going to pop in the players. I'm going to pop in all of our players. So let's put Savio, Nico O'Reilly. Who else? I'm not going to put in Kovacic for now, just because that's a bit of a question mark. Who else am I missing? I'm saying I'm not going to put in Bernardo or Gundo right now. Nunes, I guess, technically. He might get one. I don't think Diaz is getting any. I'm just gonna give Diaz a big 0 right now. I think Ake will stay. Ake might get one. Rico Lewis, if he stays, maybe might get one? Question mark. Who else am I missing? Vitor Hayes. I don't think Hayes is getting any. I won't lie to you guys. Echeverry. Don't know. Kasanov. I'm just putting all the players in right now, guys. Let me know if I've missed a player, please. I'm not putting fucking Kyle Walker in. Or Carson. Akanji, he might still be here. Have I missed anyone? Bear in mind, I'm purposefully not including Kova, Bernardo, Gundo, Grealish, Stones. Have I missed anyone now? Diaz with a solid 0. Yeah, exactly. Akanji. Marmoush is going to get 20. Jesus. Overestimating Marmoush. We'll see. We'll see. Shut up. Shut up. Bernardo. I'm not putting in Bernardo just in case. I'm not putting in McAtee as well because he's probably going to go. I think I've got everyone there, though. I think this is our whole squad. I think this is the whole squad based on what we have now, and also based on the signings that we're almost definitely bringing in. Let's now go through these, and then we can put the order in. In fact, let's go from bottom to top, shall we now? Bottom to top. So, Bar, I'm just going to assume he's going to go out on loan. How many goals, if any, if Akanji stays, is he going to get? Now, this isn't me having a go, but if all goes well, he should be playing even less football than usual. I'm going to give Akanji 0 because I've actually just looked at the number of goals he scored. And the amount of zeros that comes up is a lot. This season, 0. Last season, 2. Season before, treble winning year, 0. For Dortmund, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0. I think when you combine the fact that he's not going to be playing as much football, hopefully, I think we can put 0. Kusanov, I'm also going to put 0. I think he scored a league goal in his very short career, to be fair. I think he scored a league goal, has he? No, it did. It did. Oh, no, because it was from a corner, but I think it counted as an own goal. I'm going to err on the side of caution and put 0 for Kusanov as well. Echeverry. Is he even going to be... Do we think Echeverry... Because I think that if Echeverry started, it was a starter in the side, he could get a couple of goals. I think maybe 2 or 3. How much football, realistically, do we think Echeverry is going to get, given Cherki is coming in? And Cherki is going to now be our main high-volume creator. And that was sort of like one of the concepts of bringing in Echeverry. I'd be amazed if he got more than 0 Premier League goals. I will not lie to you. I won't lie to you. 1, 2, 1, 1. Again, bear in mind, he might not even be here. What's his... He's not much of a goal scorer if memory serves. He scored 3 goals he scored 3 league goals in his career, in his very short career. 3 goals in 30 games last season for River Plate. He's not going to play 30 games, obviously. He might play 10. Maximum is 1. It might be 0. And he's a bonus, probably alone. If McAtee scored like a goal in the Premier League, and he scored 3, maybe I could give Echeverry 1. Maybe I can give him 1 and be nice. 1 or 0. I'm not going above 1. Are we giving him 1 goal, guys, or are we giving him 0? Instinctively, I want to err on the side of caution and put 0. Just so that if people go, well, you're overestimating how many Marmoush will get, I can go, well, we gave 0 to all these players, so maybe they'll get 1 there. I'm not putting a number bigger than 1 on this screen. I will not lie to you. I'm vetoing that. If he does it, wonderful, great, lovely. I'm trying to be cautious here. Leeds at home, 95th minute to make it 7-0. Oh, dear me. 0, 1 for Girona. 1. After the Premier League wrapped him in March, Echeverry is going to bang in 10. I'm putting 0. I'm erring on the side of caution. Right, Rico Lewis is not much of a goal scorer. There's even been talk about him maybe even not being at the club next season. I'd like to think he's staying, and I think that he can score a goal. I think 1. I think 1's fine. 0 in the treble-winning year when he played a little bit. 2 the season after. 1 the season just gone. I think he could get 1. I reckon 1 for Lewis. I think that's fair. I'm looking at 1 for Lewis. Again, guys, I'm trying to be cautious. Ake. Is Ake staying, guys? 0 for Rico. Am I being too generous? -1! Yeah, that Palace goal mattered, though. Hey, we needed that goal. That equalised, didn't it? 2 to 3 goals for Lewis. Own goal, shush. 1 yearly against Palace. 1 box crash versus a relegation side. He's not playing, says Denton. He'll play more in 8 if when he plays. I agree, Darth. 1 is fine. 1 after ricocheting in off the crossbar from an open net. Specifically, yeah, I'm going to give him 1. I think he will play enough football to get 1. I also think Ake is staying. Now, Ake is actually, despite his height, is a bit of a goal threat from corners and set pieces. Now, he might play a lot less, but the season just gone. That is the first season he's gone goalless since he became like a consistent player in the Premier League. Because you'd have to go all the way back to 2016-17 when he played twice for Chelsea. So in respect to like when he first started to play games in the Premier League, he scored 1 in 2016, 3 in 2017, 2 in 2018, 4 in 2019, 2 in 2020, 1 in 21, 2 in 22, 1 in 23, 2 in 24, 0 the season just gone when he only played 10 games. We're looking at 1, aren't we? We're looking at a goal. At least 1 from a corner, from a Marmoush corner. At least 1. Diaz is not getting any goals. Let's be really frank here. This has always been my biggest criticism of Diaz. He's not good enough in the air. Certainly going forwards, not good enough. Ruben Diaz ain't scoring a goal for City next season. I'll tell you that. In fact, what is his record in the league? I think there's going to be a lot of zeros to his name. It's always been my biggest gripe with him, yeah. 1 in his first year, 2 in the second year, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, we can give him a big fat 0. Mateus Nunes is also not really a goal scorer. I think we're looking at 1, perhaps. And he got his 1 goal. He got his 1 goal this season incredibly late. Yeah, incredibly late. Sorry if I just clipped that. Sorry for my volumes. Is my volume really high? That seems quite high. My volume meters are popping off. Apologies if I'm too loud. Exactly, Josh. So he's going to get a goal, isn't he? 6 assists. Chill. 3, says Herbal. Mate. If Nunes plays, then at least 1. Once again, let's have a look at his record. I'm pretty sure it's not that good for scoring goals in the league. I think that he's only scored 2 Premier League goals in his career, unless I'm very much mistaken. Yes. Scored 1 in 22-23. Didn't score any for us last season. Scored 1 this season. Before then, his highest ever return is 3. A goal. We're looking at a goal, aren't we? We're looking at just a 1. Just a 1 goal. It was a match winner, and it was a lovely goal. And it was obviously very important because it got us 3rd place. But he's not scoring more than 1 goal, is he? Let's be realistic here. Now, O'Reilly is another tricky one because of the lack of a sample size, but he was a striker/10 back in his youth. He's scored 2, very impressively, scored 2 goals in 9 games last season, scored 5 in all comps on our way to the FA Cup final. If he plays, we're looking at a goal, at least. I'm not prepared to give him 0. If he plays a little bit, I think that he can score 1 goal. I think that's quite reasonable. And I was in a position that wasn't even his either. Could be a threat from corners, says Bengal. Yeah, 2 from corners, maybe. Where's my boy Gundo, says Manza. I'm erring on the side of they're not going to be here next season, just for the purposes of this video. Cafunes, unreal name. O'Reilly 4, says Jayworth. Crazy. 1, 4. I have faith in O'Reilly to get 2. 2. That's the thing. He's not going to be playing. I mean, he only played 9 games this season, scored twice. Once again, guys, I'm erring on the side of caution. I'm going to give him 1 goal. Nico G. Nico G is a threat from set pieces. That's where he got the vast majority of his goals for Porto. That is not the correct Nico Gonzalez. Give me the correct Nico Gonzalez. There we go. That goal he scored against Bournemouth, by the way, unreal scenes. Look what happens when he's played in his best position. It's crazy. Since he broke into Barcelona's main team, scored 2 goals, scored 1 at Valencia, scored 2 for Porto in his first season, scored 5 in his second season, but again, that was massively inflated due to set plays, and he scored a goal this season. We're looking at least 1, maybe 2, but we've also got to appreciate that he's not going to be playing as many games as Reinders, as Shirky, as Foden, as Rodri, unless there are injuries. So we might be looking at him playing, starting less than 19 games in the league, for example, depending on what happens with other players. So I don't know if I want to go too high on this. 3 max. I was going to suggest 2, I won't lie. 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5 or 6. Oh my gosh. 3 or 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. If he was playing 38, he's getting 5, but he won't probably play less than 15. So, and that again, that's what we have to consider, Josh. You're absolutely right. Players like Reinders, Shirky, Rodri, Foden, Marmoush, Haaland, we know that they're going to start at least 25 games in the league next season. I don't think the same can be guaranteed of Nico Gonzalez. I think we'd be very fortunate to get more than 1. But let's do that, shall we? Let's give him 2. Let's give him 2, shall we? And this I think is actually the hardest one. Savio. Because this guy shoots a lot. a lot. He massively underperformed on his expected goals last season to I don't know the exact numbers, but it was a ridiculous degree. That tells us one of 2 things. He's either a woeful finisher, or he is a player who gets into very good goal-scoring positions and just needs to tweak that finishing and or got unlucky. Now, I think the truth might be somewhere in the middle. Because he got 1 goal last season. And I don't think that's a fair reflection of the shots that he had. Because I think he got quite unlucky at times last season with either brilliant goalkeeper saves or it just missing, or it just hitting the post, or it just hitting the crossbar, or it gets into the perfect position but he scuffs the shot, whatever it is. Again, the sample size isn't great, and he's never going to be a wonderful goal scorer, I don't think. His best season was with Girona, when he scored 9. I don't expect that to happen again. The most I'd be comfortable is predicting... I wouldn't be comfortable predicting him to get more than Doku or Bob. I think that 2 to 4... I'm going to give him at least 2. He's going to score more goals than last season. He is definitely more of a creative Foden, absolutely. But he still gets into really good goal-scoring positions. I'm going to give him at least 2. The question is, am I going to give him 3 or 4? I think the answer is 2 to 4. I'm currently tempted to say 2. Once again... because I think that Bob is going to be the main right winger. So I actually think Savio... That's a good point. I think Savio is going to play less games next season and start less games. With Bob coming back into the side. Especially if we get a proper right back as well. Depending on how we set up, obviously. So I think that Savio will actually play less games. Less opportunities to score, obviously. So 3 might be a bit... 3 might be pushing it. I'm going to... Let's see where we are at now. I've gone for 2. Right. Now, let's add all these up. I think for the most part, outside of maybe Marmoush and maybe Haaland, I think we've been quite conservative there, which is good. That's good. Because we'd rather undersell than under-deliver, you get me? I'm now going to add these up with my calculator. I should have just done this in Excel, shouldn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the own goal. Right. 99. That... Now, again, I know it changes season to season. I know this is averages. But let's just have a look. If you scored 99 goals, in general, which seasons does that win you the Premier League? It would win you the Premier League this season. It would have won you the Premier League... Sorry, the last season. It would have won you it in 23-24. It would have won you it in 22-23. It would have put you level with 21-22 City. It's more than 2020-21. It's not as many as us in 1920, but to be fair, we didn't even win the league that season. But it's not that far off. It would have been enough for 1819. It certainly wouldn't have been enough for Centurion, which was 106. That was insane. That's a record, obviously. So, what have we got here? So we've got a total of 99. I mean, I don't know who this player called Total is, but he's scoring 99 goals next season. That's crazy. You know, so can we sign him real quick? Yeah, but Yash, I can't account for injuries because then this is a pointless exercise. I've got to assume that there's no insane injuries. I've got to assume what do I think each player is capable of in a season. If I talk about hypotheticals and ifs and buts and what if Rodri comes back and is 50% of the player, then that throws the whole video into disrepair and there's no point of even. I might as well just end this stream right now. So I'm trying to do it based off what we think these players can realistically do. I think these numbers are pretty fair. Even if you think we're overselling Marmoush or overselling Reinders, maybe I've undersold Savio. You get me? This also isn't even including, Gundogan, Bernardo, Kova. They might stay. They might contribute another goal or so. We might sign Morgan Gibbs-White. He's a bit of a goal scorer. That might be a thing as well. Which names here do we think are not realistic? Where here have we overestimated? I don't care about underselling. Underselling's fine. Don't worry about it. That's good. We want to undersell. Where have we oversold? Where have we oversold players? Don't worry about underselling. It's chill. That's fine. We want to undersell. Phone's going to get more than 12. That's fine. We want to undersell, guys. We want to undersell. We want to have enough wiggle room and err on the side of caution. Evan says unrealistic. What? But be specific. Which one in particular? Where have we undersold? See, you guys are sending me mixed messages here. Some of you are saying that I need to give Marmoush and Foden more goals. Some of you are saying that there's too many goals. So clearly they must be there or thereabouts if the truth has got to be somewhere in the middle. So clearly Marmoush and Foden are correct. If some people are saying there's too little, some people are saying too many. They're clearly correct, aren't they? I think we've oversold Haaland, says candidly speaking. What do you reckon? 28? 28? Is that fairer? Is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? And then what could I do? I did undersell Savio. I reckon I can give him 3 goals, maybe. Perhaps. Maybe we give one to Vitor Hayes. It's not going to happen, is it? If that happened, we're now at 97. Which is still above target. Which is nice. Oh, Evan, I get you. Marmish might be a bit high. Shirky should be a bit higher, but it's all the same. Yeah. It doesn't matter, does it? It's about net, isn't it? So long as there is a player who isn't massively overdone, then it's fine. Look at that. If you'd rather I do it like that, it's not a problem. It's a semantic at that point, isn't it? Herbal is correct. If you'd rather that, it's not a problem. We're trying to give some leeway here as well, because it's not going to be accurate. So afford us like 2 either side. So maybe Haaland gets 30, maybe he gets 26, maybe Gvardiol gets 3, maybe he gets 5, maybe Savio gets 4, maybe Nico G gets 4. You see? It's all about having some leeway. Holland 26, I think that's underselling Silky. I'm not willing to go lower than 28. Even that, I wanted to push it to 30. Even then, I wanted to push it to 30. Reinders 5. Okay, let's give him 5. Fine. We're still above target. That's fine. Not a problem. Bosch. And this is us being cautious. Yeah? Cautious. And we're still above target. The reason why I wanted to make this video, in part, was to illustrate that I think we have a very good chance of winning the league next season. And I've seen some people get down on the potential lineups that we can put out next year. City should be looking to win the league next season. Relatively, that's not the right term. They should absolutely be in the title race, and they should be looking to win the Premier League. Can't see Foden getting 12. Why? In his worst season last season, he got 7. Do you think he's going to do worse than last year? Do you really think that? I don't. Shaky 5. I've given him 8. You guys wanted me to give him 8. Echeverry can score 4, 5. He's goal hungry. Yeah, but is he going to get the game time? Echeverry to get at least 1 goal. I've given him 0. I'm trying to undersell. And if you think, okay, well, Foden's only going to get 10, right, we'll give a goal to Echeverry then. Maybe give a goal to another goal to Ake from a corner. I'll give one to an extra one to Savio. Savio on 2. I think he's going to get 3. We might bring in another player. Maybe we bring in Morgan Gibbs-White. That's another player. Maybe we keep Kovacic and he gets 2 goals. That pushes the target even higher. Maybe Bernardo stays and he gets a couple goals. Maybe Gundogan stays and he gets a goal. You get me? I think this is pretty reasonable. Indeed, Jeremy. Indeed. He got 9 in his first proper season. He got 9 the season after that. He got 11, as you say, in a season which was injury struck. He got like 17 or whatever the year after. And his worst year last year, he got 7. He's not going to get less than 7, is he? And one assumes that with the correct environment and hopefully with getting over his issues off the pitch, he should be back to getting to what the averages were. And the average was around, it was double digits, wasn't it? Centre-backs get 1 or 2 goals per season. Not Ruben Diaz, sadly. Counting an own goal as a push? Not really, because City always get multiple own goals. I think I've actually undersold the own goals there. This season, City got 2 own goals. City always force own goals. With like a cross from Doku or Savio or whoever, a defender sticking a leg out, or a shot which takes a massive deflection. City will always get own goals. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not going to sneeze. That's so annoying. I wanted to sneeze and it went away. What about the right back we'll sign? Maybe we'll sign a right back. Maybe he'll get a goal. Do you see how we've undersold and yet we've still got to the target amount? That is good, I think. So my conclusion, therefore, is that there are enough players at City to score enough goals to win the Premier League in a general season. Now, if Liverpool pop off and Wirtz gets 30 assists and 20 goals and Liverpool score 105 goals, then it's a different conversation, isn't it? We're basing this off averages. We're basing this off what we think could happen. And I think what we've concluded there, and this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, because I think some of these numbers are harsh, because I've purposely tried to be harsh for some of these numbers. We scored enough goals to win the Premier League, which is nice. Very, very nice. Now, will we do it? That's another matter. But there's no reason why we can't do it based on the current squad that we have. If you add a Morgan Gibbs-White to this, and I think City should, by the way, then Gibbs-White's going to get 5 as well. 3 to 5 goals, because he's a bit of a goal scorer as well. It's looking good. It's looking good for next season. We haven't even made the signings yet, but we probably will, and it's looking good. There's limited room in a starting 11. Indeed, but this is based on what we know these players are. It's Guess when we know these players are. Make sure you leave a like on the video, by the way, guys. It is free and it does support your boy. It does support your boy. Absolutely. Absolutely it does. Over 500 people locked in. Big up to you. If you watch my content and you're not subscribed or you haven't liked the video, that's a bit of a weird move. You do you. Bit of a weird move though. Make sure you are leaving a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribing. There will be analysis videos of all of City signings this summer. I'm not going to rush them. I'd rather get them right than get them out first. So you will have to be patient. But as with all, sounds very arrogant. As with all my analysis videos, they'll be worth it. Right, okay. You're banned, you're barred from this channel. You're not, obviously, but, you know. PSG have 3 players who have double-digit scorers. Yeah, so do we. Look at that. So do we, based on precedent, based on what we think these players can do. Beautiful. Haaland in his best season scored 36. He's not going to hit 28 unless Shirky's a creative genius. Well, first of all, Shirky is a creative genius. But secondly, Haaland in his second season, when I thought he could have done better in front of goal, scored 27. And that was a year where he was underperforming in front of goal. So 28 is perfectly valid. I think we're actually underselling him. I think he'll breach 30. Do you think Doc and Savio can get 10 assists each? That's probably pushing it. Probably pushing it each. They can probably get, like, I don't know, 15 combined, perhaps. Yeah, so to be safe, I've not included any of the old guards. So I've not included Kova or Gundo or Bernardo. If you want to include them, this picture looks even nicer. It looks even nicer. There we go. Take a screenshot, guys. Let's see how accurate we are. Once again, this is assuming that there's no ridiculous injuries or, you know, Reinders comes in and is a fucking flop. I've sort of got to assume that players are going to come in and be at the level I think they are going to be at. If Rodri comes back and he's not the same player after his injury, then there's not much I can do about that. There's not much I can do about that. But yeah. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? Let me know. Once again, big up to Denton for joining the Ultras Club. Big up, big up. Yeah, 8 assists is great. It's great. And if like they can get like 15 between them, that'd be really nice. Even after these signs, I think Pep will start Bernardo every game. I hope he for his good and at Cities etc. I think he should go. Penalty taken might get half a dozen if we had one, says Martin. Well, that's normally Haaland. This season hasn't been good at penalties. That's all. Of course, Manzi, yeah. And that's going to be the order of it. Haaland's going to be our top scorer. Marmoush is going to be our second best scorer. Foden will be our third best. Unless Shirky absolutely pops off and gets more goals than he's ever got in his career. How do you get 95 points? What? Where do I stand on beans and toast? If you don't stand on beans and toast, you'll get your feet all soggy. Wingers less goals than a DM is ridiculous. Hey, that's how good Rodri is. And that's also how unpredictable our wide players are. You get me? You get me? Once again, I'm trying to be practical, trying to be cautious. Maybe, because I think Savio will get more than 2 goals. It's about erring. It's about erring on the side of caution. We will score 93 and concede 100 plus. I think we get relegated if that happened. Second reserve for Arsenal, amazing. Don't think so, HM. In fact, I think the starting 11 will be comprised of a midfield 4 of Foden, Shirky, Reinders, and Rodri. I think that'll be our go-to midfield 4 on ball. Be very surprised if it was anything else. It's certainly not one or the other. We'll win the league next season. I call it now, says Herbal. I think City have a great chance to win the league. I think we have a great chance to win the league. There are certainly enough goals in the side, clearly. There's enough creativity in the squad. Clearly, whether it's a passing, whether it's a dribble, whether it's a set piece, whether it's a carry, whatever. Whether it's just Haaland's hold-up play. I think we can score enough goals to win the league. The question will be, will we not concede enough to... Will we concede... you know what I mean? Will we concede too many for that to be a determining factor? Even Gavardo outscores our wingers last season. Let's pray next season with Shirky in our team. We can be more productive. Absolutely. Once we're league's top scorers, but conceded more than we scored and got relegated. Yeah, I know, in the 30s. Big up. I don't know if we are signing, but again, if we are signing Morgan Gibbs-White, then he's going to get 4 or 5. And that makes it even better. And that makes it even nicer. Thoughts on Cristiano starting over Diaz? It's not going to happen because Diaz will probably be our captain. We need Foden back, says Andrew. We do, but we also need Rodri back. It's very interesting that everyone's focusing on the Foden coming back, which I agree with is important. But what's more important is Rodri coming back. There is no guarantee that Rodri comes back to the player he was. I'm more concerned about Rodri coming back, to be fair, because he had it wasn't just an ACL, was it? It was an MCL, whatever the term is. If he can come back to even 90% of what he is, then yeah, he's the best defensive midfielder. He's one of the best midfielders in the world, not arguably the best. I'd be more concerned about him coming back. But we'll see. We'll see. I suspect they'll both come back and it'll be lovely. And again, remember, guys, worst season, 7 goals. Worst season, second most goal contributions for City. How about we bring in a Shirky? How about we bring in a Reinder so we actually have another midfield? And how about we bring back Rodri as well? That's the thing. I don't think Rodri is the captain, though, is he, Evans? It seems like Diaz is going to be the one. Might be wrong, but I suspect Diaz will become the captain. I think defence wins his titles, not attack. That's not what the history of the Premier League tells us. Who should we get right back if we don't get Livramento? No idea, because right now we can't sign anyone else other than a Livramento because of the homegrown issue. The non-homegrown issue. Roger can lose his head. I think Diaz is... I like the idea of Diaz being the captain. Club captain. Rangers check, Ainori check, Shirky check, right back. Soon, hopefully. We still need one. We need one. That's nice, Nevins. That's cute. We'll find out if that's the case. I don't care. How long before Roy Keane brands Rodri as the League 2 player? Daniel, shut up. Can't wait to see Echeverri and Shirky play together. It'll be lovely. Well, no, Echeverri and Shirky. Oh, no. That probably won't happen. Also an under 21. Yeah, but we need the starter to improve us now, don't we? That's what we need. That's what we need. Yeah, it's irrelevant what I think about Kusanov and Diaz. Diaz are going to start over him. He just is. Here's everyone's right back choice. We know yours is Livramento, Nobbins. Well, your choice has to be an English player. Or a homegrown player, sorry. Defense to win titles. The winner of the Premier League is always top 3 in defensive stats. The winner of the Premier League is nearly always the team that scores the most goals, Chi. Trust me, I've looked at the numbers. You are more likely to win the Premier League if you score the most goals than if you concede the fewest. Last season was a prime example. Liverpool didn't concede the fewest. Scored the most goals, though. If you go back to every single Premier League season, you'll see that is reflected nearly every single time. There's a few instances where it isn't the case, but the vast majority of the time, if you score the most goals, you win the Premier League. That is the general rule of thumb. Don't worry, guys. I did a video about it years ago. Big up to you, Eric. Zabaleta with a false passport. Deary, deary me. Defense wins your Champions League, attacks wins the league, says the system. Yeah, defense is definitely more important in a knockout format, 100%. But in a round robin format, the only top 5 league where that isn't the case or hasn't been the case since the Premier League was created is Serie A, where we obviously know that the emphasis is on defense. Every other league is attack. I think Germany's actually quite even, but Premier League, yes. La Liga, yes. Liga, yes. Bundesliga, it's tighter. Serie A's the only one. Surely not, Andrew. if we loan Echeverry or Hayes, we can afford a non-homegrown player as right back. No, we can't. Not for the Premier League. Not for the Premier League rules. Because right now, Echeverry and Hayes are under 21 players, so they don't count as non-homegrown. You'd have to move on one of the senior players. You'd have to move on Bernardo or Kova or Gundo to get things started. Sunji, hi, yeah, big up. Are we getting Wesley? Hope not. Because he's... I think Wesley, did we confirm? He's not even an under 21 player. So he'd count as a non-homegrown player, which is insane. And he's not even that good. So I really hope we don't get him. He's not worth a non-homegrown slot, that's for sure. That's for true as mustard. So my mum is at the do you know the show The Voice? She's in the crowd for The Voice today because in Manchester you can go watch it for free. So she's gone to Media City to go watch it. We need homegrown players, yeah. If you guys want more information about City's homegrown dilemma, I did a stream on it earlier this week or last week, whenever it was. Big up to you, mate, for following. TLDR, we are at our capacity. If we sign these 3 players, we need to move on players before signing other non-homegrown players. That has to happen. I don't think so, JRA. I won't lie to you. I don't think there are any. None that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of. Should Haaland be given positional freedom? Nah, he should play at 9. That's where he belongs. Should bid for Rodrigo? Nope. For a number of reasons. 1, we don't need him. 2, he diminish a player better than him. 3, we couldn't fit him in anyway. 4, Rodrigo. 5, he smells. A 6, he would not be happy playing in the position you have to play. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Big up to you. I'm going to wrap this stream up because I want these to be around 90 minutes or so, just so they're not too long. So we'll be wrapping up before past. Do we have any final questions, any final thoughts? Hopefully you guys found that stream enlightening and useful, re the number of goals. So let's see, shall we? Let's see how that goes. I think these players can do that. These are my targets for all these players. I'm expecting and hoping Haaland gets 28, the Marmish gets 14, the Foden gets 12, the Shirky gets 8, etc., etc. It's fair I didn't say Shirky 8, but you know, that's what I'm expecting / hoping for. Yeah? Yeah, exactly. He smells. Yeah, hashtag Rodri no. Once again, tell me where he fits. Tell me where he fits in respect of the squad and in respect of the non-homegrown status. Answer, he does not to 1. Answer, he does not to 2. It's pretty certain, yeah. If we don't, then I think that's a mistake. He's not leaving Chelsea. Even if we were going to do that, he's not leaving Chelsea, is he? If we play a more transitional style, expect Haaland to have his best ever season. Yeah, but we're never going to do that, are we? We defend with the ball. We're never going to be a pure counter-attacking side. We defend with the ball. That's how Pep plays. That's how the best teams play. You defend by having the ball. Do you see Kasam starting in big games next season with Gavardio moving to the centre? No, I think it'll be Gavardio Diaz for the most part. Central 10. I don't know what that means. Hopefully we see players leave when the window opens to sign a right back. Yeah, it is. Wait, oh, sorry. That's where you want Rodrigo. You mean where Shirky's going to play? Yeah, mad, man. Mad. You know what I would do at that point? I'd probably sign a 10. You know what I mean? I'd probably sign a 10 if I wanted to play a player at 10. I probably wouldn't sign a winger to play at 10. I'd probably sign a winger to play on the wing and a 10 to play at 10. That's just me, though. If you guys don't want Shirky, then go for it. Go get Rodrigo. But you ain't getting Shirky. Sorry, what was his shameless plug, Andrew? I didn't even see it. Yeah, there you go. Hit the likes, guys. Big up. What do you think Kassan at right back? He's not a right back. Nunes at right back. Yeah, he's not a right back. He's good backup. He's fine. I don't know if he'll have any effect. Can't lie, won't lie. Shirky right 10. What? So where's Rodrigo playing? Is Rodrigo playing in the exact position Marmoush wants to go? Crazy that. Tell me where he's fitting into the non-homegrown status, Elder. Oh, wait, he's not. Tell me how he's not going to just overlap and interfere with Marmoush's positioning. Oh, wait. He will. Crazy. Know any cool t-shirts? Yeah, you're damn right. Go buy mine. Link in description. Go to the knob shop. Look, he'll do... First of all, he's not as good as people make him out to be. Secondly, he'll do well at Arsenal. Because, you know, he'll actually be able to play in his actual position. He's not going to be playing that at City. He's not going to be playing that at City. No, he can't. If you're being serious there, but no, he can't. Literally. Guys, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. Do you bring in Shirky or do you bring in a winger to play at 10? How does Shirky in the 10 not have the same issue with Marmoush inverting from the left? Because Shirky's starting from the right. What? Because you're going to give Shirky the right half space. You're going to give Marmoush the upper left area. No interfere at all. Hello? 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 Put 3 attackers. Rodrigo, Marmoush, Haaland with Shirky Foden behind them. Yeah, I also don't like to defend. I also like to have no rest defense. I don't know. He's not that fucking good either. We're acting like he's the second coming of Christ. No, he doesn't, because Foden can play slightly deeper. It's not the same at all. If Rodrigo could play deeper, it's not a problem. But Foden can. Rodrigo can't. And they don't have the same problem. We saw it this season. They don't have the same problem. I literally saw it against Newcastle. They don't have the same problem. They don't interfere or overlap. They actually have a very good chemistry with one another. Rodrigo and Marmoush would interfere with one another. You can't play them all at the same time. You get me? And again, why are we even having this conversation? Why are we signing a winger to play in the 10? Why don't you sign a 10 to play at 10? What's going on? People keep saying we need a winger, and then they say play him at 10. Well, so what is the truth then? Do we need a winger or not then, lads? If we need a winger, why are people saying play him at 10? What's going on? What's going on in the world? Do we need a new winger, or do we not need a new winger? If we do need a new winger, why are you saying play him at 10? If we don't, then we don't. Let's move on with our pathetic lives. Oh, God. Anyway, guys. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up there because we've been live for around 90 minutes. Make sure you're liking the video and subscribing if you are new. I'm going to try my best to... I'm going to try my best to get an analysis video out on Sunday. That will probably be Reinders, because I suspect that City are going to announce him first. And Shirky hasn't even been confirmed yet, so I'm probably going to work on Reinders, or try to complete Reinders first of all. So Foden, yes, you are a smart human being. Well done. Intelligent person here. Well done. Beautiful. Whatever you think of him as a quality player, which, I mean, you're a stupid idiot if you think that he is a player whose quality needs to be sold. In a world where Manchester City have a non-homegrown problem, and we actually saw towards the end of last season that no English players even started, no homegrown players even started towards the end, do you think it makes sense to sell one of our best homegrown players when we are struggling for them? What do you think? What do you think? Use your brain. Use your brain. Use your brain. This isn't a hard concept. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, big up to Nadim and James for shouting me out on the Ripple. It was very, very, very cute. Very cute. And I will see you all... Well, once again, say no. Hashtag say no to Rodrigo. Hashtag Rodri no. Say no to signing wingers to play at 10. Let's not do that, shall we? Let's not do that. If you want to get a 10, bring in a 10. If you want to bring in a winger, bring in a winger. Let's not do any of this dicking around for players who aren't even that good for City. I'll try to release an analysis video on Sunday for Rangers. We'll see. I'm not promising anything. There won't be a stream this weekend because I want to work on the videos. And go follow me on Twitch. because I'm live every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening on Twitch. So if you want even more Nob in your life, if you want even more Nobbins in your life, go follow the Twitch. We are currently playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm the worst gunslinger in the entire West. Yeah? And I kill people just because they have a go at my shoes, etc. And I'm also a legendary bear killer. So go follow the Twitch. We're doing Red Dead Redemption 2, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, currently, right now. Go follow it. Click that link there. Thank you guys very much. I'll catch you all next time. I'm going to go work on my Rangers video. Until then, have a lovely evening. I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye, guys. Big up. #Rogerino.